Hey there. All right, so let's talk about the habit contract. So, why is this helpful? Where did I come up with this? So, this came from using habit trackers, which are a fantastic tool, very simple. I'll show one here of habits that you can write down and you're checking off your progress. If you do that, great. It's a fantastic tool, and this is how I create a lot of very sustainable and helpful systems for clients that no longer want to track their food or use an app or anything like that. This is very simple. You can also transfer it or put it on a calendar and use it that way. But there's usually another step, and this is the habit contract that comes into very handy use. So say, for example, you're filling out your habit tracker and you want to go to the gym 5, 6 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever your goal is. Some days you're going to get thrown a curveball and you won't get to go to the gym. And so instead of kind of getting on the cycle of all or nothing, or, letting it go 3 days without going to the gym or whatever scenario, right? Having options that still relate to those goals is really, really helpful. So this is where the habit contract comes in. So at the top here, you're going to write your big goal, your why, make it powerful. So you stay connected to that. And then your habits, we're going to kind of keep it to like 3, your habits that are going to help you achieve that goal. This is your system, right? That's on your habit tracker. And for right now, let's see. So usually I have a nutrition one, a movement one, and maybe a related one like sleep or something. I'm going to start with movement. So plan A is something that I would love to do. If I had all the time, the resources, the energy in the world, this is what I would love to see for myself for movement. For me, that's riding my horses, going to the gym in the morning, and taking my dog for a walk. I would love that. Now, modern life, adult things, like I don't have that kind of time usually most days to do that. So plan A is ideal scenario. Would love that. Plan B is a little bit more realistic. Plan B is 80% of the time I can execute this plan. So realistically, that for me and most of my clients, that is moving 2 times a day. So whether that is going to the gym in the morning and then going for a walk, or maybe it's a rest day from the gym, so I am going to go for 2 walks that day, but I'm moving multiple times a day. So that's my plan B, and it's something I can feel very confident that I'm going to execute at least 80% of the time, okay? Plan C is our new minimum. So this is your minimum effort. For example, for me, for movement, I could not really separate myself from my desk on Tuesdays. Not the case anymore. But on Tuesdays, I would really struggle to get to the gym or even get out for a walk or something like that. And it was just, like it's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things because I was, very active other days of the week, but I didn't feel as good on those days and they were just a little bit less enjoyable. So for me, plan C on those harder to move days became a 15-minute walk. When you really look at it, I don't have any arguments against getting out for a 15-minute walk, right? I probably scroll on my phone way longer than that. So I can make that a priority. So now I've increased my walking overall for the week by not having as low of a step count on Tuesday. My steps automatically went up. And this was kind of a gateway to more, achieving more, right? So define that for yourself. For me, some nutrition examples could be, plan A, maybe someone wants to track their food, pie in the sky, usually something that's a little bit hard to maintain every single day. So maybe that's them, or maybe that's hitting their macros or calories or something, but something that they would love to achieve. It's great to strive for, but maybe it doesn't happen all the time. Plan B could be, I'm going to have at least a protein and vegetables at 2 out of 3 meals or something like that. Something that is pertaining to you that you can do 80% of the time. Right? Or maybe that's just having a vegetable 2 times a day, adding in some plants in there, or a protein source at every meal, something like that. Something that you can do most of the time, or maybe if you are tracking food, maybe that's just hitting your protein goal or hitting your fiber goal, one of those things, instead of asking for the whole thing every single day, right? But they should still be meaningful. And that's obviously when a professional or accountability buddy can help you kind of determine that, make sure we're not being too biased or too nice or too tough on ourselves. But same thing for plan C. The minimums really count for this. If you're not catching on, the minimums, redefining your minimum is really, really tough. Because again, usually people sway from doing all of it to doing none of it. And we're trying to increase the none of it. The none of it's not really an option anymore. We're going to try and do a little bit. So plan C for food could be, even if I'm not eating perfect nutrition, good meals, whatever, I can still make sure that I don't eat in front of screens, or I'm not scrolling on my phone when I'm eating. So therefore I can stop eating a little bit sooner, right? So hopefully something like that comes to mind. Eating away from screens, stopping before you're totally stuffed is a good one. I think those are my usual ones for plan C. But there's one more. Plan D, as in don't do it. These are old things that we want to leave behind. So for me, as a previous binge eater, I would binge on food, whether it's healthy or not. And that became a thing I did not want to do. So plan D, plan don't, something I'm thoroughly breaking up with and something that does not serve me going forward, considering my goals, would be binge eating. So draw that out, lay that out, get detailed about it, and really describe what those things that no longer align with, your previous habits. Put that as plan D. So we can kind of break up with it, leave it behind, and make sure it's not really an option going forward. And initial it, sign it, do it. Have this somewhere that you can see and you can have that. So when things get tough and you're like, man, I thought it'd be like a plan A day or a plan B day. Now we have a new option, plan C. That happens, but we overall we increase our efforts for the weekly average. And it's not about being perfect every day. It's about increasing what we are doing for ourselves on the week by week, month by month basis. This is a long game, right? Not a sprint. So hopefully that makes some sense, is hopefully helpful for you during this journey. But if you have any questions, let me know.